Well, Neil, it's great to meet you today in the flesh. Obviously, we've been exchanging emails for a while, and congratulations on your great win down in Poole at the general election. So, in your constituency at the moment, and let's talk about two things. Let's talk about cash access, and then we'll talk about cash acceptance. I think you've been finding that a lot of bank branches have closed, and so cash access has gone down, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, like a lot of constituencies, Poole has found that banks over time have been closing their branches. And that creates a real problem for some of the constituents who don't do online banking, who are nervous about those sort of transactions, want to deal in cash very much, want to draw cash out, want to deposit cash, want to manage their accounts in that way. So having a bank branch that they can get easy access to is really, really important.
Yeah, and I suppose, you will have probably a disproportionately high percentage of older people in your constituency.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say that any seaside resort attracts people in retirement because it's a nice place to retire to.
And I was amazed, there's over 12 million, I think it's over 13 million people over 65 in this country today.
Absolutely, yeah. And Poole has got its fair share of those, of course. And they're the sort of people who rely very much on having access to a bank branch.
So you must be quite enthusiastic about the concept of banking hubs, where the banks cooperate to provide one premises where they all provide services. You think that's a good idea?
Absolutely, I think it is a good idea. I'd like to see it rolled out more widely, obviously, but I think it is a step forward, and I think it would benefit the customer, certainly, and that's why I'm supporting it.
In terms of cash acceptance, have you found some businesses in your constituency not accepting cash?
Yeah, and I think that's a real struggle for people. Whether it be a local high street shop or a museum or whatever it might be, I think it's a real problem where people go in without cards, only have cash in their pocket, and they say they can't, buy things or they can't access services because they don't have another means of payment. That's exclusive. That's discriminatory. That is stopping people from having access to the things that they really should have an entitlement.
And you mentioned things like museums, and other people mention the railways, which are being renationalised, of course. For them to say, we'll take public funds, but then we won't accept the public's cash, that has to be wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. SWR, which is the railway in my constituency, is the first one to be taken back into public ownership in May this year. And absolutely right that they should still be accepting cash payments from the travelling public.
Well, we found when we actually surveyed people through YouGov, 71% of British adults said they want a law put in place saying their cash must be accepted. It's an astonishingly high percentage. No government ever gets that kind of percentage.
No, absolutely
in an election.
not. No, and if only you did. Absolutely. I think we should go the ways of the other European countries, in particular. Belgium, I know France is another one. I think Spain is another one that have done this, along with others. I think we definitely need to be taking that forward, and it is something that I hope to raise with government over the coming weeks.
Well, that's great. I mean, and one of the things I found very interesting is the pictures usually painted. It's unsophisticated countries where they're doing more about cash access and cash acceptance. But Holland, the Netherlands, is just coming on board. They have actually taken action to make sure there definitely will be cash access, and they're about to pass a law just this month saying that cash must be accepted. Now, that's a country with very sophisticated payment methods. You've got a brilliant app that the public largely use called Ideal. And a lot of the people use that, but still they think, the government and the public think, they want the choice of using cash, and also that it's a national security issue because all of these systems, including Ideal, can be hacked.
Absolutely.
By possibly Russians or even people from other countries.
From anywhere.
From anywhere, exactly.
Absolutely.
And we need that protection.
Yeah. And cash is a way that people, from my point of view, it is one of the best ways that people manage their finances. We're still in a cost of living crisis, in my view. People are still managing their budgets quite carefully. And I think cash allows them that sort of control over their finances.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's interesting you mention that because apparently, and we didn't do the research, but one of the charities did the research, 16 million people use cash to budget. Now, there are only around 30 million households in the country, so that means that in more than half the households in this country, there's somebody actually using cash to budget. That is an astonishing percentage, and it just shows, once again, as you're saying, how important cash is.
Absolutely. So We've got to make sure that we keep cash as an option for those that need it or want it. And I think that's something that we have to keep campaigning on, myself with the Alliance, of course, to try and keep pushing this forward.
Neil, we're really grateful for your support. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.